And at guard, 6'5" from Arizona State, number 13, James Harden. The head coach of the Thunder is Scott Brooks. Clipper Nation, rise up for tonight's Clippers starting lineup. At forward, 6'7" from Connecticut, number 5, Caron Butler. The center, 6'11" from Texas A&M, number 6, DeAndre Jordan. Guard, 6'3" from Colorado, number 1, Chauncey Billups. At guard, 6 foot from Wake Forest, number 3, Chris Paul. At forward, 6'10" from Oklahoma, number 32, Blake Griffin. Vinny Del Negro is the head coach of your Los Angeles Clippers.
And the stars are in the building. Clippers, Thunder coming up next. You've got the best seat in the house right here on Prime.
Here at Staples Center, we're about ready to go. One of the big games of the year, the Clippers and the Thunder, two of the hottest teams in the NBA. Mike, what are you watching for tonight?
Well, I asked the coach, do you try and slow down Kevin Durant or do you try and stop the other guys? He said a little bit of both. It's really hard to stop Kevin Durant, but we'll watch it and adjust as the game goes on. That's something to keep an eye on. Explosiveness versus smarts really is Westbrook against Chris Paul. And keep your eye on both of them because they do it in different ways, but that matchup might determine the outcome. The battle of the 6 men is Mo Williams versus James Harden. James Harden has been inserted into the starting lineup, but you're going to need scoring from somebody other than your 2 superstars, so those third scorers could be really big. And Clippers in transition, Ralph. If Oklahoma City has a flaw, they tend to turn it over too much. And if the Clippers can exploit that and get out and run, good things can happen. They're going to have to find some easy hoops. Let's go over to Kiki Vandeweghe, who's roaming the sidelines. Kiki.
And guys, I'm going to add one more thing. Defensive rotations, because both Durant and Westbrook, you cannot guard them one-on-one, so you're going to need help in a lot of different areas. DJ is going to come over to try and block the shot. Now, you've got to rotate back to cover his man. Defensive rotations could be a key tonight.
Well, let's see how this goes. This is going to be a fun little drama to watch it unfold before our very eyes. Tom Washington, Brian Foster, and Kane Fitzgerald are the referees. The Clippers in their home whites, the road blues, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder and the Clippers split last season's season series, 2 games each. We'll see what goes tonight. The Thunder have won 4 in a row, 11 of their last 12. The lone loss, go figure this, was at Washington against the Wizards.
I know, and at the time, Washington, the worst team in the league. If they, take away that game or get a win, they'd be sitting on a 12-game winning streak. They are really well balanced. They are really good.
Jordan and Ibaka will jump it up at midcourt. And Ibaka controls the tap. That means the Thunder have it not only now, but also to start the 4th and final quarter. And Russell Westbrook against Paul Durant against Caron Butler. Those are the two key matchups to watch. Blocked by DeAndre Jordan. They call it a goaltend. Westbrook gets the goal.
That's exactly what Kiki was talking about, DJ coming from the weak side, but I think you also, that's definitely a goaltend. But DJ does a nice job of kind of selling the block by keeping it in play. But you saw that Westbrook went right to the post on Chris Paul.
Paul in the foul circle, passes up a shot, 9 on the shot clock. Against Ibaka, Griffin loses the basketball. Durant, a deft feed to Westbrook. To Harden, who throws it wildly over to Durant, and his baseline jumper is good. It's 4-0 OKC.
You almost have to think of these guys in transition.
Speaking of transition, a 3-ball fired. Look at the hustle of Blake Griffin. Saving the basketball, sitting on the seat of his pants, and the ball is out of bounds. It'll be Clippers basketball as Ibaka came over to get it, but he was out of bounds when he touched it out to the Clippers with 20 on the shot clock.
What an aggressive start. I mean, guys hitting the floor and guys running out. You have to think of these Oklahoma City Thunder like you do the Miami Heat when it comes to transition. Westbrook is every bit as explosive as a Dwayne Wade, and Kevin Durant at 6'10" can finish with the best of them.
They are turnover prone. Clippers need to take advantage if they're able to force some turnovers. Ball into the paint, little floater, very nice.
And Chris Paul is going to have to be more aggressive offensively. Last night in Denver, he goes for 13 points and 4 assists in the fourth quarter. He's going to have to do more of looking for his own early on, just like he did.
Ibaka brings it to Harden, starting for Cephalosha, who got hurt in the game Friday night in Golden State.
That's a great rebound.
Goes to get the rebound.
And the Clippers,
some come to you, some you go get.
That's right. And the Clippers running out, which you like. You're going to have to get buckets before their defense gets set.
Butler, catch, shoot, bingo.
If you think about Oklahoma City's team, they really only have 3 guys who you would think are really good offensive players. That's Westbrook, Durant, and Harden. Tonight, Harden happens to be in the starting lineup. Perkins and Ibaka are defenders.
Durant with the answer. Here we go, folks. I'll tell you, this is going to be fun. 7-5. Oklahoma City has the lead. They double-team Paul.
Right back to him. You're open, Blake.
Butler, little ball fake, hop to the goal and get fouled. The foul will be on Durant. Durant will get the foul, his first. So you got the scorers, and Westbrook, Harden, and Durant on the role players, and Ibaka, Perkins, and Cephalosha, and Collison, and Nazir Muhammad. It's a nice unit.
They have a great balance, Ralph. They're third in scoring. They're third in field goal shooting. They're the second toughest team to shoot against, so they got a great mix of offense and defense.
Griffin in close. He's against Perkins here. Chauncey, DeAndre steps to the goal for the slam and hits iron. And the Thunder will run the other way. The athletic Westbrook rises for a 3-ball that rims out, and Jordan looking very, very active here in the opening 2.5 minutes.
I think they're holding Blake Griffin as they ran down the floor. I think Ibaka. No, it's actually on Durant.
That's number 2 on Durant in 2.5 minutes.
He's in disbelief. Look at this play where Jordan tries to dunk it from so far out. That's good defense by Ibaka.
He went straight up.
But 2 fouls on Durant?
It's a huge, huge early turn.
I think it's only 1. That other one was on Westbrook. They might have called Durant initially. That's a break for Oklahoma City.
Griffin with a basketball. A handoff to Chauncey Billups. Open for 3. Bingo.
And did you see Blake Griffin's read? Blake is going to be asked to read the defense tonight more so than on other occasions. Instead of just a pick and roll and go to the goal, they will be waiting for him. He was able to find the open shooter that time.
Harden used to coming off the bench, just his second start of the year. Works against Chauncey Billups. Gets blocked by DeAndre Jordan. And Harden goes down. Says hello to the cameraman. What kind of a lens is that, he says.
DeAndre had 5 blocks last night in the big win at Denver. Just a little bit of a statement.
4.7 on the shot clock. They got to hurry. This guy can hurry. Durant crosses over, steps back, misses.
That's that one-legged step back that he's taken from Dirk Nowitzki to add to his repertoire.
He's already got enough going.
Oh, I know, right?
Leave Dirk alone.
He doesn't need to steal from the best.
Chris Paul will go to work.
See how Oklahoma City zoned up right there on Chris Paul's side, so he could not penetrate.
Feeling it, shooting it, and missing it. Rebound, battled for, and is taken by Westbrook out of the pack.
And he can fly.
Bounces it off his foot, out of bounds. There's one of those turnovers we're talking about.
He's had 5 turnovers in a game 7 times this year.
And they get 20 a lot. Butler spinning and scoring 8 early points for Caron Butler, and the Clippers are up 10-7.
And I like what the Clippers are doing. They're not waiting to play half-court ball against Oklahoma City. They're taking advantage of every early opportunity they get.
OKC's been here for a while. They arrived Saturday afternoon from Oakland. Jump shot by Ibaka is missed. Had Saturday night and Sunday night in LA.
That could be good or that could be bad.
It could be fun or it could be
could be wearisome.
They've had some good weather. The wraparound pass to Paul. He'll rise for 3. Bingo! The Clippers on fire from deep. They're 4th of the night. They've made 53 pointers their last 5 games, shooting 43% from deep.
Remember, Oklahoma City started this game 4-zip. It's 13-3 for the Clippers since then.
Westbrook thinking about it.
You know what? That's good defense. I mean, I would first of all give Westbrook the 3 and then react just like Chris Paul did. The guy made a tough shot.
Ball the bounce to Griffin. Butler into the paint and into the 4th row.
There are some emotions involved. Adrenaline is kicking. And of course, Caron's off to a great start. You know he's fired up.
We're talking about the Clippers just red hot the last 5.
And Oklahoma City.
53 pointers in 5 games.
They do not allow 3-pointers. I mean, they really D it up from deep.
Westbrook in and out. DeAndre picks up the rebound. That's his 3rd of the ball game. Paul, the wraparound to Blake Griffin.
Go right into a pick and roll. Chris is telling him, come get him. Not that side.
10 on the shot clock.
There's really nowhere to go on that side.
Chauncey Billups, 1 bounce dribble. Back to Blake Griffin. 3 in the timer. Tries a 20-footer. The tip by DeAndre. A great offensive rebound and finish.
Ralph, that's his best sequence on the offensive glass.
He is really energized tonight.
I'm telling you what, tipped it once, tipped it again, and then got it without ever bringing it down.
Westbrook into the front court. These guys are in a tough stretch of road games. Durant backing down against Butler.
He is unguardable, folks. And the question was asked in the pregame, who's the best scorer in the game? Kevin Durant by far is the best scorer.
The lob, the jam won't go, but it comes back to the Clippers. They get a new clock.
Does that give you any indication how hard he tried to dunk that if it bounced off 3 hands and came all the way out?
He must be on a Red Bull diet after that game just last night. Bingo! A 3-pointer by Butler.
And emotion,
he has 11 points.
Emotion is carrying these guys right now. Off the win last night, you know they're exhausted. And Scotty Brooks, the head coach of Oklahoma City, says, we got to talk about this. These guys are for real. They're not just 11-6 because they got some athletes. They can play ball. DJ making it happen. What a great sequence by him, and the Clippers by 7 early.
Forward. Oh, did they get a good one in Caron Butler, and what a start he's off to tonight.
And how about the fit, Ralph? I mean, he's the perfect fit with this group. And people ask me, why is he so open so early? It's because defenses, when they get ready for a ball game, they're keying on Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. Well, Chris Paul's driving, Blake Griffin is finding, and Caron Butler's making the most of this start and his openings out there on the floor.
He's 3rd, maybe 4th option on this ball club, and so he gets overlooked, and you're open, you shoot, and you score, and this game has such importance. So it's an early season ball game. There's the standings in the Western Conference right now. Oklahoma City the best record in not just the West, but the entire NBA. Clippers standing in 3rd place in the West right now as they get a bucket inside with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, there's that explosiveness right there where he can just dart to the goal.
Westbrook and Durant have all the points for Oklahoma City.
I'll tell you another stat about these 2 teams and their records. Oklahoma City is best in the league against teams with winning records. In other words, they're good against everybody. You know who's 4th best in the entire league against teams 500 or better? It's these Clippers.
The Clippers 7-5 as Chris Paul drives and scores. And also important, the Clippers are 4-1 against teams with losing records. And that's an area you have to dominate. And the Clippers have not always done that. The one loss, one that really hurts, was in Minnesota, the last-second basket by Kevin Love. I'd like to have that one back just one more time.
Yes, you would. And you'd like to have Perkins shoot that shot a lot.
Yes.
You get him shooting that shot, you've done your job on defense.
Ball working around the screen by DeAndre Jordan. Butler again.
Well, there's the 6'10 Durant who got his hand. You just forget how long Kevin Durant is. You have to consider him almost 7'2 or 7'3.
Into the corner, Ibaka.
Now Ibaka shoots it better than Perkins. Ibaka can step out to 15 feet and make that shot.
He came off a 20-point ball game against Golden State Friday night. If he does that, they're just about unbeatable. Griffin in close, doesn't get the bounce.
Oh, came right back.
Oh, he gets it back in heavy traffic.
Hang on, Blake.
Trying to get out of the paint, and he
exactly.
does. Mo Williams, bingo!
I'm calling him Instant Mo. Not Instant O, Instant Mo. Every game he provides that instant offense.
Clippers lead by 10. Westbrook brings the ball ahead. Kevin Durant against Butler. Poked away by Butler on the floor, battling for it, and Vinny Del Negro applauds the effort. The teammates help him up. So Mo Williams in for Chauncey Billups, and didn't take him long to find the bottom of the net.
No, he's been the hottest guy. I mean, on the Clipper team. I mean, even last night in Denver, he only goes for 12, and I say only. He only took 6 shots. And there they are, top scoring 6 men in the league. We have Harden in the starting lineup tonight for only the second time. And Mo Williams right there, top 5.
Westbrook driving athletically, putting it up and spinning round and round she goes. And there she falls, 8 points for Russell Westbrook.
And look out for him. I mean, he has never played well against the Clippers in this building.
Griffin throws it away. DeAndre gets it and stuffs it.
And a foul.
How about this DeAndre Jordan guy tonight?
You know,
4 points, 5 boards in 9 minutes.
Look at this play by Westbrook. And Westbrook's been 20 or more in 8 of the last 9. So carrying the load offensively, and that touch after that, you know, incredible
Let that
lead.
thing go around. My luck, it land on 0-0. Jordan will be at the free throw line trying to complete the 3-point play.
How about the big free throw he hit last night in Denver?
Nothing to it.
Andre Miller fouled him. Clippers only had a 1-point lead. It was less than 30 seconds ago. He knocked one down. It was so critical.
Oklahoma City 8-2 in the road. Durant driving and slamming. He has 9. Westbrook has 8. Oklahoma City has 17.
Forget about it. He's the best scorer in the game today. I'm telling you, he might not lead the league in scoring this year with Kobe on his mission, but
Then again, he might.
But he's the best scorer.
Blake Griffin gets his first field goal.
And I even asked Kevin Durant before the ballgame, I said, do you care if you lead the league in scoring? He said, not anymore.
Knocked away by Griffin. Here comes Mo. Outrunning everybody. Saves the ball. And the Clippers get it back.
He might be a little tired. Yep, missed it short. That was kind of an incredibly intense exchange.
Daquan Cook is into the ball game now. He's a dangerous 3-point shooter. Westbrook
How can
to Cook. He mishandles. Out of bounds it goes. A careless turnover. Third of the ball game.
How can they keep up this pace, partner?
I don't know. I'm not sure I can. Holy smokers. Clippers lead by 11. 28-17. Prize. Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of the great American race with the 54th running, the Daytona 500, on February the 26th. Nick Collison is in. Durant is off to a solid start with 9 quick points. He and Westbrook have got all of them.
That's the whole show so far.
So Harden, who started, is now out of the ball game. The ball is deflected away. Chris Paul turns the corner.
I like when they do this. Guys.
Reggie Evans in traffic puts it in.
I like when they do this. You can bring Reggie Evans in against a Nick Collison. Nick Collison not a scorer. But what they're doing with this 3-guard configuration is allowing Mo Williams at times to run the point, and Chris Paul becomes the 2-man.
Westbrook to the hole, and a foul is called. No basket. Chris Paul will draw the personal foul, his first of the basketball game. First foul the Clippers in the game, and Russell Westbrook will go to the free throw line from Lusinger High School in Lawndale. Knocks down the free throw. Come off a 28-point, 11-assist game against Golden State Friday. That's a big time game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was like 3 steals and 4 rebounds from having a quadruple-double. he impacts the game. There's no question about it.
2 years at UCLA. And who would have dreamed he'd be that good? There's Blake Griffin on the sidelines. A quiet start.
Hello.
The jam!
And it was something they saw, because the minute Nazr Mohammed came into the ball game, that's what the Clippers did in transition.
7 points, 6 rebounds, and a block for DeAndre Jordan. What a start for DJ. Ball's knocked away by Reggie Evans. Careful, Reggie.
You got 3 guards out there, Reggie. Look for one of them.
Give it to somebody. Give it to anybody. And the surest hand on the entire roster, the guy with his hand on the stern, Chris Paul, throws it away. Who would have thought that?
Look at this one. And I would say this is maybe only the first or second time that they get one like this. Wall on the fly. Look at that man's head is by the rim.
Paul, Foy, and Williams out there for the Clippers, along with Evans and Jordan.
You got to come help right here, because Durant will take Evans. He might just shoot it right there. He's just too good. So the Clippers got mixed up. They got to run somebody at him.
I'll tell you, if only 2 Thunder score all night long, the Clippers will win the game.
Yes, they will. But they might score 70 points, those 2 guys.
That's all right.
You're right, Ralph.
They might score 90 and still lose. Mo Williams going to work. It's 2-teamed, 8 in the shot clock. We're in the final minute of the opening quarter. Paul, right elbow.
Wow.
He is a great shooter.
It did not take him long, folks. He was a little rusty in the Laker game. The Memphis game a little bit better. Last night in Denver, he was splendid. And tonight's start, he's got 9 points and 5 assists in the first quarter.
Clippers by 13. Westbrook knocked away, picked up by Collison. He'll put it in.
Collison, one of the most underrated forwards in the game.
Totally agree.
Defensively, he's in the right place. He takes charges. And you know that plus-minus stat that everybody keeps?
Yeah.
This guy's top 5 in the league each of the last 3 years.
Well, that's pretty remarkable. Paul on the run.
What did he do again, Ralph, to the clock?
Well, the Clippers get it back with 5 seconds to go. Why did he shoot so fast? That's exactly why.
He's the master at that. There's nobody better in the league.
It's like an NFL quarterback who plays a 2-minute drill to perfection.
Yeah, put it that way. He's Tom Brady or Eli Manning. Take your pick.
What are those guys doing this weekend?
They'll be busy.
Collison will go to work. The foul is called on Reggie Evans. Reggie gets the foul. Clippers up by 13 to the Thunder. Free throws coming for Collison. And you'll never, ever look in the scorebook and say, boy, that Collison had a good game last night.
Nope.
I watched him in the playoffs last year, and they go to the conference final. Every game, he just never makes a bad play. He always does things to help you win. I guess that explains that plus-minus thing you're talking about, which signifies the points scored by your team when you're on the court versus the points given up.
Yeah.
Team may lose the game, but while you're out there, they're winning the game, and that's what he does for you.
Yeah, and the other guys on the list, I said he's top 5, and the other guys on the list are Derrick Rose and LeBron James and all the household names.
All-stars, superstars.
And this guy will never make an all-star team. That's why he's valuable.
And he and Kevin Durant, the only guys that date themselves back on this roster to the Seattle days.
I like what Coach Del Negro did by getting Blake out early in the midst of this good run, because he's going to need him later, giving him a good blow.
Paul brings it up with 4, with 3, with 2. He fires. He misses that one at the buzzer. So an electrifying opening quarter is in the books. Boy, oh boy, that's a lot of points for the Oklahoma City Thunder to give up. Clippers lead the Thunder. 12 minutes down, 36 to go. Clippers are up 36-25.
The floor spread beautifully. Go ahead, run a little bit more. Watch what happens here. Freeze it. Go ahead and run it. He darts to freedom. And this guy is just so good at what he does.
Back to live action. Back to Blake Griffin, who's returned to the game, gets a bucket and gets the foul. Collison will draw the personal foul, his first. Blake Griffin gets his second bucket.
I like what Coach Del Negro did. He got Billups out. He got Blake out. Starts the second quarter. And you would think this second unit, how are they going to match up with Oklahoma City? Well, he's got a couple of starters back in there. And
He
they run
indicated tonight that rather than go with an entire second unit or 4 out of 5, he'd like to have at least 2 starters in the court at all times.
I like that idea.
He's just kind of refining the rotation here as everybody's getting healthy now.
I think that's so smart.
So the Clippers back on defense, holding on to a 14-point lead, their biggest of the basketball game, as Reggie Jackson, rookie, is in, fires and misses. Rebound comes off the Foy, and he throws the ball away. It's deflected, and James Harden, who didn't get going in the first quarter as a starter, brings the ball back. An electrifying scorer, and he gets fouled going to the basket, and he gets fouled a lot.
You know, when you think of Harden, you almost have to think of Manu Ginobili. That's a little bit who he plays like. He's left-handed, he's a little bit quirky and unorthodox. He's a playmaker for them much more than he is a scorer. He passes. I think he's the best passer on their team.
But he averages almost 17 points a game.
Yeah, he can get it going. He's been on fire lately, too.
Out of Artesia High School. Down the lane, fouled again.
That's Ginobili-like.
It is, you're right. This time, Mo Williams will draw the personal foul, his first. And Harden will earn a trip to the free throw line now. Just 22 years of age. These guys are so young. Durant's only 23. Westbrook's in that same area age-wise. As Harden's left-handed free throw bounces around and falls in. Hey, All-Star voting ends tomorrow. This is your last reminder, folks. Blake, CP3, Chauncey, and DJ need your support. Vote now at NBA.com or by texting their last name to 69622. That's MyNBA. Message and data rates may apply if Griffin gets a rebound. You could even win a trip to this year's NBA All-Star game, the All-Star Sweepstakes. So vote and vote right now. Chauncey Billups, the scoreless first quarter. Comes to Griffin. Harden takes a seat. Griffin up, under, gets a shot rejected. And loose ball foul going to be against the Clippers, holding on Blake Griffin, holding Nazr Mohammed, who were trying to start a fast break.
You know, Blake had it all set up for his play where he goes middle and then goes back over his left shoulder with that right-hand jump hook. He opted to go middle. He brought the other defender to him.
Clippers up by 13 early in the second period. Jackson to Collison to Harden. That's the third possession in a row that Harden has drawn a foul on the Clippers.
And they shoot a lot of free throws. They make a lot of free throws. They're the best foul shooting team in the league.
81%. Harden will bring it in. Jackson, little used. Without Sefolosha, the rotation has changed a bit. Harden has it poked away. The steal brilliantly by Randy Foy.
They're letting him
Harden
play
gets
through
it back. They're letting him wrestle. It's a shot clock violation. This thing, nobody ever had possession there.
It's probably the right call.
Harden didn't think so.
I mean, Randy Foy was close to getting that ball. He couldn't
This guy
get it to
didn't
anybody.
think so. And now the referees are going to huddle at midcourt.
And they're going to say, did Randy Foy have possession?
Vinny Del Negro trying to help, saying that my guy never had control. Kane Fitzgerald will walk over here and try to explain it all to us. They call it a jump ball. I guess that's the equivalent of double technicals. We can't decide, so let's do it this way. And Mohammed will jump with Blake Griffin at midcourt.
Now, Mohammed's 34. He's a little bit taller than Blake, and I would say longer limb. But
Tom
Blake,
Washington with the toss. Griffin able to get it with a second tap, and the Clippers have possession now, leading it by 13. We're a minute and a half into the second quarter of play at Staples Center.
you got good matchups out there, Ralph. Mo Williams against a rookie and Reggie Jackson. Billups out there.
Reggie loses the basketball. Harden comes up with it. Offensive foul.
Either that or a travel.
Offensive foul on James Harden. A little bit full of himself on that one.
That's just good defense.
Good job by Mo.
Yeah, he did not flinch 1 inch.
So the Clippers with Chauncey Billups at the controls, Mo Williams and Foy, along with Evans and Griffin. Chauncey had that huge game last night in his hometown. Out of bounds, it'll go to the Clippers as Collison skidded to a stop but crossed over the end line. Clippers are bringing in with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Chris Paul on the sidelines after a brilliant opening quarter, 11 points and 5 assists.
He was sensational, just as he was last night in the fourth.
Westbrook at the other end.
And that's Westbrook's best start against the Clippers in this building.
He shot under 40% against the Clippers last year. That's way too easy. Scotty Brooks has to be going nuts.
Well, they don't do that enough, in my opinion. They don't take advantage of Blake's speed and quickness off and out of bounds set. It's just a perfect delivery by Chauncey Billups.
Clippers by 15, their biggest lead of the basketball game. Collison dribble handoff will go to Harden.
Wow, Harden is the whole offense, Ralph.
Jackson, 9 in the shot clock.
Don't foul now.
Battling with Reggie. Get to the hole and score somehow.
This
nice
guy
job.
Was the 24th pick in the draft and slid a long ways because of an ankle injury, but he's a much better player than 24th pick.
Mo lets it fly in traffic. Cook the rebound, and here come the Thunder. Cook dangerous. Rebound comes off to Randy Foye. Mo Williams working to the basket. The baseline to Chauncey for 3. Bingo!
Has he made some shots or what?
That's his 36th 3 in just his 16th game.
Lionel Hollins, when the Clippers played him the other night, played Memphis, said these guys, Billups and Paul, are the difference in about 7 victories for the Clippers so far. I don't know about 7, but I'll tell you what, Chauncey and Chris made the difference last night, and so far tonight, they've been terrific again. We still have over 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. It is time now for a CarMax Smart Choice, where you never have to haggle at CarMax. And Ralph, I know you want to haggle with me, but we will see. Tonight we say the Thunder will win the West and reach the NBA Finals.
They're going to be the Western Conference champions?
And look, I'm not haggling.
Well, I got to haggle with that.
Well, I figured you would.
I mean, my dream scenario would be Oklahoma City and the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals.
Well,
and I like the Clippers' chances in a 7-game series against these guys. I really do. OKC may have home court, may not. We'll see. Long time to go, but I like the Clippers' chances in a 7-game series against most anybody.
And you know what? So far, there are certain matchups. Certain teams just tend to match up better against others. And this is early in this ball game, but it looks like the Clippers match up very well against this team.
Leading it by 16. Durant is back. So was Westbrook. Durant for 3. Didn't take him long to say, here I am. It's not over yet, gentlemen.
Do you know in his 2 games last year against the Clippers in this building, he went 0 for 14 from 3?
Oh, he shot 36% against the Clippers.
He did not make 1 3-pointer. There's a foul on Perkins.
Perkins taking down Reggie Evans.
And Perkins loves to play physically. He loves to mix it up. He's what's anchored their defense since they got him mid-season last year. They went from giving up 101 points a game down to 97. This year they're giving up 94. They're much better defensively.
Now, Boston Celtics missed him big time last year.
They missed him in the locker room, too. It really shook up the
Chauncey
chemistry.
goes to Griffin. They close out on Williams. They got the scouting report on him.
Yeah, look at how they recover.
Reggie to the hole. Gets fouled.
That's actually a blessing for the Clippers right there, because Mo Williams runs pick and roll. He doesn't realize it's Reggie Evans. And nothing against Reggie, but Reggie's not really going to make a play over there. As it is, he's got 2 freebies coming.
So Reggie Evans will go to the free throw line, where he's already made 8 this year. Out of 22.
Listen to the fans.
Fans yelling for Reggie. Gotta make you feel good. I guess not. Hey, Porsche drivers, reserve your free valet spot for Clippers home games, courtesy of your Southern California Porsche dealers. Only 5 spots available for each game. Should be sure to register early at Clippers.com. Butler comes in, Griffin comes out.
And that's just looking at the matchups. Remember, Blake was in from the onset of the second period. I imagine he'll get a 2-minute blow and be right back in.
Reggie put that one down like nothing to it, like he was Chauncey Billups or Chris Paul or something.
Like those guys last night.
45-31, Clippers on top, 4 minutes into the period. Kevin Durant says this is not over, guys.
Oh, no.
Westbrook totally agrees with that. Rebound, Chauncey saves it for Reggie Evans.
I just love the way Coach Del Negro is shuffling the guys in and out.
How do you like how he's standing right in front of us? Chauncey Billups drives and scores.
I don't like that part. But what you're seeing is a bunch of Clipper players coming in, and they're fresh the entire game.
Well, he indicated before the game, he said, I got to do a better job of rotations. And it's part of it's been, guys in and out of the lineup hurt. But now that they're healthy, he said, I got to get this thing down to a situation where guys know when they're going to be needed, know what the expectations are. There's a foul against the Clippers late in the shot clock. It's Caron Butler getting his first personal foul.
And we talked about it earlier that the Clippers are going to have to take advantage of early offense opportunities. Look at the ageless one. Chauncey at 35. He had a couple of run-out baskets last night, too.
Durant will be at the free throw line where he is expert as well. Chauncey checking with the officials. Always respectful. He knows how to play the game in every way. Durant's foul shot is good.
I told you I was asking Durant as DeAndre comes back in if he
What
cares.
a start he had.
If he cares, if he ever scores, leads the league in scoring again. And his response, was shocking to me. He said, Mike, I'm past that. I said, wait a minute. I said, Kevin,
did you have a name tag on or something?
You're only 20. No, he and I are very good friends from way back in his rookie year in Seattle. No, seriously.
I know. Yeah.
We're like really, really close.
Yeah,
he always comes and finds me. And then I said, so you have bigger goals? And he says, yep. And I said, can you tell me what they are? He says, you know what they are. He said, we want to win the whole thing.
Chauncey to the hole again. Gets a shot blocked beautifully by Perkins. Durant leads the break.
What missed it?
Hits iron. Here come the Clippers. Chauncey. DeAndre hammered from behind by Harden.
And you can't really complain if you're Coach Del Negro because it's unselfish play. But you're talking about one of the most incredibly athletic guards this game has ever seen. Look at this kid. He just took his eye off the mark. He stopped looking. And he threw it right into the wedgie zone.
I know you used to hate when that happened.
I did. I used to miss like one of those a quarter.
A technical foul has been called, and Chauncey Billups will get a free one. Chauncey, an 89% foul shooter, was so happy to spend time with his wife Piper and the three girls in Denver, sleep in his own bed.
We landed last night, and I don't remember what time it was, but Chauncey and I were over there picking up our luggage, and he goes, can you imagine me in Denver waiting out in the open air, waiting for my luggage, and how many times I had to do that? I said, a little bit different than L.A.? He goes, yes.
Well, I tell you, it has been a blessing, this weather for these new guys. They got things. Oh, holy smokers.
They're loving it.
Well, Chauncey was quoted the other day saying, I could have gone a lot of places. I wanted to really have my say of where I was going to go. Didn't work out the way because of the amnesty thing. The Clippers were sharp enough to go in there and claim him. But he said, Jiminy Christmas, I'm really lucky. It was the Clippers that claimed me.
Yep. I think he's having fun.
Oh, really?
I think he's having more fun than anywhere else he might have gone. I mean, he's really become the captain, the leader, if not, given the title of captain. He's that guy that they look to on the back of the bus. I was on the last bus to the arena last night.
There's a shock.
That's the first time. And you know that there was like one player on that bus?
We have 7 buses, folks.
All those guys were on the first bus over there getting extra shots, extra looks. Chauncey was part of that.
The Thunder will come the other way. Clippers lead it by 15, 48-33. Westbrook against Mo Williams. Harden's been quiet. Westbrook is not.
I mean, is he any good? When I said that GM Sam Presti said he impacts the game, in the span of 5 years, he's gone from 2 Final Fours to a FIBA World Championship to the Western Conference Finals.
Little backdoor pass. Mo gets it swatted away.
That's why they're good defensively. They can recover. They're very long and they're very athletic.
Chauncey did a good job. He thought maybe he'd won that battle, did not. 13-point Clipper lead, but it's only midway through the second quarter. Clippers have 48 points on the boards.
Look at the block shots already. We just featured a couple guys before the game.
Westbrook rises way over Mo. It goes deep in the hole and spins out, and Chauncey Billups will come the other way with it for the Los Angeles Clippers. Chauncey gets to the hole, kicks it out to Butler. The extra pass to Mo. One flies by, shot is missed. And Durant shovels the ball ahead. And Harden loses the basketball. Butler, nice patience.
And good job by Randy Foye, who spent a lot of time in the backcourt. He knew to take that as long as he could or as close to the rim until somebody committed to him. One pass and a layup it should be when a 2-on-1.
15-point Clipper lead. 7 turnovers early on here for this Oklahoma City ball club.
Yep.
Durant.
5 games in a row.
Loose ball foul going to be against the Clippers on DeAndre Jordan. DJ picks up the personal foul. 5:15 to go. A timeout on the court. Clippers off to a super start here. A 15-point lead over the best team in the land. Winners of 16, losers of only 3. And the Clippers have the Thunder on the ropes.
California Dodge dealer today, and by El Pollo Loco. El Pollo Loco now has 5 combos for $5. They are the combos other combos wish they could be. Get them now.
Come on inside Staples Center. It's a lot of fun so far. The Clippers lead the Thunder by 15. Hey, this Sunday, Fox Sports is proud to bring you exciting live coverage of the Barclays Premier League. Chelsea looks to avenge an early season loss when they take on Wayne Rooney and the Manchester U team, looking to keep pace near the top of the league. Our coverage of the Barclays Premier League begins next Sunday, 7:30 in the morning. That's Pacific time here on Fox.
I love that stuff. I got jerseys from both those soccer clubs.
Well, Oklahoma City Thunder played last Friday. Clippers played last night. Scotty was a member of the Clippers for 1 whole year, was injured, didn't play a game. Then he used to hang around our training camps and just kind of wishing and hoping he could get into the league as an assistant or a scout or, sweep up the floor as most anything.
He was attending all sorts of training camps, all on his own dime, staying there and just watching and learning from the best till eventually he got a break and got an assistant job and worked his way up. And it's amazing how a team will take on the personality of a coach. And Scotty Brooks is like the most unlikely of all NBA players. He's from Central California. He struggled to get to UC Irvine, where he became a scorer under Bill Mulligan. But at 5'10" and not the best athlete in the world, he played like 10 years in the NBA. And this team works as hard as Scotty Brooks did to make it to the league. They are a hard-working group.
He took over for P.J. Carlesimo 08-09 season when they were 1-12 in the start.
Right.
His first 13 games, they go 1-12.
Exactly.
It winds up 3-29. It was really something. Kiki Vanderway standing by. Kiki?
Well, it's interesting because I hired Scotty Brooks as an assistant in Denver, and you can always tell right from the beginning he was extremely fiery. And although he knew the game very well, what he brought was a passion, a work ethic, and he kept working under the great George Karl until he became a great head coach himself.
Well, you had a good eye as Mo Williams throws it up and does not hit iron. But that 1-12 start, now you go 3-29 to start that year. They wind up winning 23 games.
Yep.
Next year they win 50.
50.
And get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, but 50.
Next year they win 55 and they go to the conference finals.
Yep.
I'd say he's got it going after a 16-3 start this year.
And his core is 22 and 23 and 21. And the oldest of the starters is Perkins, who's not yet 30.
Everybody's, oh, there's Westbrook.
Well, that's because 3 Clipper players had the rebound. They all looked at each other. It was kind of that volleyball play. I got it, you take it. It bounced right in the middle.
Westbrook just signed a big max contract extension. Durant is tied up for a long time. So is Perkins. I guess Harden is next on the radar for that. There's a move by Paul. Good closeout by Cook against Chauncey. The 3 ball is going to be short. It was contested, and Harden gets the rebound.
Chauncey should have shot it on the catch, and Vinny Del Negro forced for the decision right now. 4 minutes to go. Do I bring back Blake Griffin, which I think he should? He only has 2 fouls. You do not want Oklahoma City to get a run right here.
Durant on the run. Little intimidation, but
that's
comes over to make the block, and Ibaka is free to get the rebound.
That's what Kiki and I were talking about before the ball game when we were talking about shot blockers. If DJ comes to alter a shot, everybody has to rotate down to block out the other guys.
Paul weaves his way into the paint. The lob, the slam.
Boy, is that pretty. And these two are starting to figure each other out. And I might even opine that Chris Paul and DJ have figured out the lobs between them even quicker than Chris and Blake have.
Well, there's no question that one of the, like a prerequisite as Westbrook scores at the other end. For Chris Paul, he said, I want to be sure you guys are going to, re-sign and extend this
DJ.
DeAndre Jordan guy, because I really like him. They took him back to his days with Tyson Chandler in New Orleans. We were both amazed how well he knew this basketball team when he signed on.
Everything.
The ball is kicked away. Look at the battle.
Now Scotty Brooks is saying that nobody had possession and that should have been a violation.
A backcourt violation?
A 24-second shot clock violation. Because remember, this skirmish over here occurred at the end of the Clippers' possession. If no Thunderman totally had it,
you have to have a change of possession.
We're going to check it out and see. Ball's loose. Does an Oklahoma City player ever have it?
Not yet.
I don't think so.
Yet. Not yet.
No, I still don't think so.
Not yet. The ball's going to belong to the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's a little subtle change of momentum going on right now.
I feel it.
Inside the 3-minute mark of the period. Clippers holding on to an 11-point lead, but the Thunder are thinking comeback.
Record in the league, down 11 here in the second quarter, 52-41. Michael Eaves, Don McClain. We're out here in Star Plaza getting ready for Clippers Live halftime report. We're going to talk about the dynamic duos tonight and just how dynamic they've been here in the first half. And Caron Butler once again continuing his first half success, taking you inside some of the numbers as well. But Don, one thing we do know about Caron Butler, if he gets hot, he can stay hot for a while.
Well, and here's the beauty of Chris Paul. He always understands that and recognizes it, so what does he do? He keeps trying to find it. But that first quarter was electric, and when you come to enough games and watch enough games as we do, guys usually take their time to get going, teams. No, these two went right at each other right from the opening tip, and Caron got it going early, 5 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 5 from behind the three-point line. And as we talked about in the pregame, let's see if he gets it going in the second half tonight, or is it a matter of Chris Paul takes over, Blake Griffin takes over, or Chauncey? We'll have to watch the second half and find out.
And that's in a few minutes. But first, guys, let's finish the second quarter.
Yeah, got to finish it well, too, with less than 3 minutes remaining.
Look out.
Westbrook, he goes for the slam and gets fouled, misses the bucket, but will go to the free throw line. Clippers led this by as many as 16. It's down to 11.
This guy's amazing. I'm telling you, he's so much like Derrick Rose, but his decision-making is a little bit less, sharp than Derrick Rose. So his mistakes are a little bit more visible. Last year in the playoffs, he upped his shots to about 20. His turnovers went up. He was not sharp. He only shot 33% in the playoffs. And it's a shame because he had such a great regular season. Speaking of Russell Westbrook, where he was an all-star for the first time.
We don't know anything's wrong with Blake Griffin, but he did have a little twinge of something last night in the game in Denver. And he's been taken out of the game twice, early in the first quarter, early in the second quarter, and I'm thinking they might be monitoring his minutes just a little bit. But we don't know that for a fact.
But it is the all-important final 2:30. Fortunately, they do have...
Reggie Evans comes in rather than Blake.
Exactly.
What brings that to mind. Paul has it.
Look at the attention he gets. Not only Perkins, but now Durant on him.
8 in the shot clock. Perkins gets him now on the switch with 5 on the clock. Paul goes bye-bye, throws it up, and did not get it to the iron. Benny wanted a foul. Paul wanted a foul, didn't get it. Instead, he gets a turnover. Turnover number 7 for the Clippers, and the Thunder have the basketball again with Russell Westbrook grilling his family and friends here in his hometown.
Clippers waited too long that time into the shot clock, so there really was nowhere to go but straight forward.
Durant, catch, shoot, bingo.
The scouting report on Durant, and in the Clipper locker room, they have pictures of all the guys on Oklahoma City, and it says, great three-point shooter next to Durant's name, and then the next line says, we'll shoot from anywhere.
7-point lead has been trimmed from 16. Butler.
Look at the 6'10"
Durant
frame.
gets a piece of it. His second block of a jump shooter.
And he was not a defender and not that attentive to defense before.
Westbrook The Clippers trying to get a steal. Saved by Durant. Kicked away by Cook. This guy can bail you out of anything. He gets fouled. He'll go to the line, and Caron Butler will raise his hand. And as you knew would happen, suddenly we have ourselves a ball game.
Oh, yeah.
36 points between Durant and Westbrook. 36 of their team's 45, and Durant's going to go for some more.
Clippers had 44 points with about 8.5 minutes to go here. So they've gone 7 minutes and scored 8 points. That's not good enough. So the Clippers in the midst of a big, big drought. Oklahoma City on a 10-2 run.
Durant to shoot 2. First one is good.
Now watch him recover on this, Ralph. Caron Butler gets him up in the air, but the 6'10 man with a reach of about 7'5 is able to bound, turn around, and reach back with the other hand and block that shot.
We're told Blake Griffin is fine. Free throw is missed. Out of bounds, it'll go to the Clippers. 52-46, Clippers by 6. 1:34 remaining. First half. We'd love to get this back to a double-digit lead.
Look, they are the whole team, speaking of Westbrook and Durant. Two-man show so far.
Paul trying to draw a foul. Mo for 3. Bingo!
And he was
just
due.
cannot cool down.
Ralph, he was due, and Chris Paul knew exactly where to go. That time they attacked much better and much earlier in the shot clock.
1:10 remaining. There's a steal, another turnover. Mo Williams has Butler out front, looks for a trailer.
They're almost too unselfish.
For 3. Bingo!
It doesn't matter now.
Oh, my.
If you're going to give up a layup, you better make a three-pointer.
Clippers by a dozen. Less than a minute to go in the first half of this game. That's deflating to a team making a comeback.
It sure
that team
is.
being Oklahoma City.
How about the first half by Caron Butler?
Harden for 3.
Not a good
Nips
shot.
the iron.
And I know he was hot coming in. He made 7 of 12 threes coming
Mo!
in.
Get some Mo!
Instant Mo!
Boy, what a steal by Butler!
You think they're not in the heads of Oklahoma City right now?
Chauncey for 3. Bingo!
Oh my goodness!
12-0 run and nothing flat. After they cut it to 6. The fans are going crazy at Staples Center. I told you this is a fun house. 1 second separate the shot in the game clock. He loses the ball. It goes out to the Clippers. 2.1 seconds to go.
Clippers have a 20, I think.
Yeah, and Benny Del Negro calls it. Good use of it.
How about the 3-ball, partner? They made 14 last night. They've made 10 in the first half tonight.
50 in the last 5 games. That has not been a great weapon for this franchise for years and years and years. But it is a weapon now. There is no question about it.
They got so many shooters on the floor, from Butler to Paul to Mr. Big Shot, Chauncey Billups to Mo Williams.
Clippers led by 16. The Thunder came roaring back, trimmed it to 6 with 2.5 minutes to go, and we're thinking, uh-oh, they could make this thing tied by halftime.
And what did we do?
12 straight points, 4 straight three-pointers by the Clippers.
I mean, that's like a knockout punch.
Man, oh man.
And Oklahoma City was so stunned that Butler got that steal after. Look at Billups. Boom!
There, Durant was going for another block.
Mr. Big Shot.
Butler will bring it in. Don't know if he's ever a quarterback, but he's going to try to be one right now and throw a touchdown pass. Oh, me, oh, my. The Clippers almost threw it away and cost themselves 2 points. And how would that have hurt?
Well, that would have killed some momentum.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Maybe he wasn't a quarterback. I'm not sure. But
I think you're sure.
The Clippers have 64-point explosion in the first 24 minutes of this basketball game. The 18-point lead is their biggest in the basketball game. They've made 10 out of 14 three-pointers, 57% overall. They have beaten the Thunder on the boards. They have just done an amazing job, and we'll go over to Kiki Vandeweghe right now.
I'm here with Karam.
To NBA Live.
Ralph Lawler, Mike Smith, Kiki Vandeweghe. So happy to have you along. Clippers finished with 4 straight three-pointers to erupt to an 18-point lead over Oklahoma City at the half.
Unbelievable. That all took place in 69 seconds. It's time now to check out our U.S. Marines leader of the game. And it might be an early look, but why not? Chris Paul, fresh off his immaculate performance last night in Denver, where he did everything in the fourth quarter to lead that team to a victory. He's done it again in the first half. Only the 4th game back since his injury, where he missed 5. He was razor sharp. And the Clippers lead it by 18 over the best team in the league.
He might be even immaculater here tonight. I tell you, what a job. There's the point guard matchup. And the assists, again, it's exactly what you described it beforehand.
Yep, one guy's a shoot first,
Yep.
is a little turnover prone.
Yep.
And Westbrook can be electric, which he has been. But look at Chris Paul. Almost mistake free, gets everybody else involved, at the same time does what he needs to. And of course, that was our explosiveness versus smarts, the two of them. I'm going to give the edge to Paul right now. Have they slowed Durant? Not really. But they've stopped the others besides Westbrook. The battle of the 6 men is ongoing, and the Clippers in transition. It is 11 fast break points to 0 for Oklahoma City.
Let's touch bases now with Kiki Vandeweghe. Kiki.
Well, guys, the reason that they're up, they shot 10 for 14 from the 3-point range. Now, you cannot have a steady diet, as you talked about in halftime, and that is a very dangerous thing. If you're relying on the 3, you know you're going to cool down at some point. What got them ahead, and they have to remember this, is the defense. You've got to play great defense. Westbrook, Durant, they will get theirs. It's all the other guys you got to stop.
Clippers with a great balance, Kiki. The Thunder getting it all from 2 guys right now, Durant and Westbrook. The ball belongs to the Clippers to start the second half with Butler, Griffin, Jordan, Billups, and Paul out there. Griffin misses, goes after it, can't get it. DeAndre goes back to Blake. He'll put it in and get fouled. Griffin playing just 15 minutes so far, but we're told he is fine.
And he was sharp on that play, even though he misses the shot here. Look at the beautiful delivery. It goes out. He keeps it alive. And DeAndre, we think he's going to dunk it. He shovels it to his buddy. And Blake's got a chance for a 2-and-1.
He gets hammered like nobody.
He does.
Free throws long. He's 1 out of 2 at the foul line, but the Clippers now scored 14 unanswered points and lead by 20.
What will be the response of the Thunder?
It'd just be hard to make that comeback a second time. We'll see if they can do it.
But I just think Kevin Durant is going to be on a mission here. I know the character of this young man.
Well, if he gets 25 and a half, that's not going to be enough to do it. There's 2 of them, another 23.
But he is so good, and his consistency level, I mean, they can go to him just, nonstop this entire half. We'll see.
Griffin backing down against Ibaka. Goes to the left hand beautifully and scores. Remember me, guys? I averaged 26 a game against you last year.
Exactly. I only had 7 in the first half, but I got a second half too.
And he shot 60% against these guys. Family all watching at home in Oklahoma City.
How about Harden was without a field goal in the first half?
Didn't hear the wake-up call. Blake Griffin will bring it ahead. The power forward drops it to the point guard, to Chauncey Billups. Rebound, battled for, and the Clippers finally missed. They're 10 out of 15 from deep. Clippers back defensively. Durant. That's the lesser of 2 evils for sure.
Oh,
you got Ibaka shooting rather than Durant.
It's a good call, Ralph. They realize, let's jump out, let's double, Kevin Durant. We'll take what else comes.
Paul shovel pass. Griffin bounce in.
And that shot will get him going even more.
3 in a row for Blake Griffin.
His first bucket from the outside. That'll force the defense to guard him differently. They'll have to come out and attack where Blake can be explosive.
Durant explodes to the basket and draws the foul. Going to be on DeAndre Jordan. That's 3 on DJ.
Now here's Blake. Watch him just go at Ibaka. Almost went through him, and Ibaka's a good defender.
His left hand is much more of a weapon this year than it was in his Rookie of the Year season. 2 for Kevin Durant. He's made 3 out of 4. He was the number 2 pick in 07 behind Greg Oden. And you almost feel sorry for Portland when you say that, considering what's happened to Oden's career with all the injuries.
Yeah, and when you consider that Portland way back in 1984 selected Sam Bowie ahead of Michael Jordan. That's the same franchise that just like the 2 best scorers, you know, this game is going to know in the next 30 years.
And I read somewhere that Bill Walton, who they picked number 1, led them to their only championship. I'll grant you that, but he had a series of foot injuries. Is that true?
Yes, he did.
That is true.
You do know that.
Chauncey Billups brings the ball over to Chris Paul.
The important thing is, as Kiki was talking about, you keep playing defense and you keep playing. You got to be sharp.
Passed it up once, but not twice. Maybe he should have.
That's not Blake's game.
A third option.
That's not Blake's game.
It's this guy's game.
Yeah, I mean, he's got their last 7 points now. Their last 9 points.
He
going
clutch,
back,
double clutch, triple clutch, and just score.
And in transition, I mean, if LeBron James is a freight train, this guy is like a nightmare because he's 6'10". He can run, he can shoot, he can handle, he can finish.
Just like a whisper of a shadow.
There's no way you can stop him.
Ball against Westbrook. Screen from Jordan.
They're not calling anything. They're really letting him play. It's a physical game.
Oh, me, oh my! A monster jam by Blake Griffin. Oh, what a play by Blake. The fans can hardly believe what they just saw.
Is it possible to top what he did last year?
Almost a Mozgov.
It's better than a Mozgov. I didn't think it was possible to top him. Look at that play.
That's Perkins.
Oh, my goodness.
They show it again on the big screen here, and the fans are standing in utter awe and admiration.
I bet you Andy Bernstein got that photo, Ralph.
I bet he did too.
And if that thing's on a poster at the height of his jump, it's the best poster ever.
73-51.
But that was pick and roll to perfection by Chris Paul.
I think Tommy and Gail in Oklahoma City are kind of enjoying that one.
I think so.
His mom and dad. Foul is called on Caron Butler. Well, I don't think Perkins takes kindly to getting posterized like that. And let's watch it again.
The pass is just unbelievable.
It bounces, hits him right in his shooting zone. That's some play.
Even Blake was looking. Look at Blake looking up. Blake's looking up at that monitor, which he can see right up there. Good look, guys. I got fans behind me saying, show it again. That's the in-house camera.
He has all 9 Clipper third quarter points. I think he must have heard you were saying he was hurt in the first half.
I think you said he was off to a slow start or something like that.
Perkins knocks down the foul shots. Clippers by 20. Tell you, this is where the fun is. Wherever the Clippers are is where the fun is. Chris Paul. Oh, wow. They just keep doing it.
The run and the fun.
It's embarrassing right now for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They got embarrassed in Washington, D.C. They're getting embarrassed tonight.
And I'll tell you what, Chris Paul has bounced back into shape. He's like more athletic, more spry. He's not needing the rest that he needed earlier in the season.
Durant almost turns it over. Westbrook.
And so the big difference here is the fact that Chris Paul is able to push the tempo and not play half-court ball against the Thunder.
Harden has it rim out. Out of bounds will go off the Clippers.
There's a lot of basketball left. I mean, this thing is far from over, but look who is leading the charge. I honestly believe that DJ and Chris Paul have connected a little bit quicker. Takes me all the way back to when Chris Paul is a member of the New Orleans Hornets, Ralph, and he saw DJ warming up as a rookie.
Westbrook very quick to the loose ball. Continue that story.
Chris Paul was here at New Orleans. He's out here early shooting. DJ not playing at all for the Clippers. And DJ's like going through this series of post moves, and he's finishing at the rim. This is 2 hours before the game. Chris Paul turns over to his friend, and they're both right next to me. as Butler hits another.
A two-pointer.
And he says, why can't we get a guy like that? And he's just watching this guy with all this athleticism, and hear the irony 3 years later, and they're teammates.
Westbrook drives and misses. Rebound. Bobbled around, but the Clippers come up with it, and Chauncey Billups will fly into the offensive end.
It's all the guards running out.
Paul, bye-bye to Mr. Perkins. DeAndre Jordan says bye-bye to the basketball, and here come the Thunder with numbers, the lob, the jam.
They can do it too. And Vinny Del Negro with a very quick timeout. And I'll tell you what, it's not because they got a break. It was what he did not like at the other end of the floor. Let's not get full of ourselves. Let's go back to what was good and got us the lead. I mean, look at this play by Blake Griffin. Best dunk of the year by far. One more look. Clippers lead it by 20. Del Negro's doing with the minutes, the substitutions. Your thoughts?
Mike, I totally agree with you. I thought it was very, very smart of him to go directly into Blake Griffin 4 times in a row. You know, he must have heard us talking about falling in love with that outside shot. They played inside basketball. Get your star going. That's the way to win.
And it sure is working wonders. There's Caron Butler having maybe his best game as a Clipper. He matches his season high of 20. We have a long ways to go. 18 minutes remaining. Clippers by 22.
I loved what Caron said when Kiki interviewed him going to the locker room at halftime, where Caron said, I wasn't happy with the way I played in that game last night in Denver.
Westbrook nicely lobbing it over DeAndre Jordan's outstretched arm.
Well, you got the 2 stars, 27 and 21 for the Thunder. But going back to Caron, he said, I got here early, got my rhythm back. I really wanted to come out and be a part of what's going on and help this team win.
Paul looks to Butler. Butler against Westbrook. Over him. Rebound taken by Perkins, and here come the Thunder. This is the second game in a stretch where they have 8 of 9 on the road. Yeah, more for Durant.
They're going to be tested. They go to Dallas next. They got Memphis. Then they go to San Antonio. They go to Portland. They'll hit Utah on that trip as well.
I think especially in this compacted season, as Billups knocks down, it's kind of hard to get too excited about a quick early start because the schedule is so many variants from team to team. And both the Clippers and the Lakers and now Oklahoma City, all 3 are really going to have their big test coming up right now and in the beginning of February.
How about like Indiana's played 13 of their first 19 on the road. And those guys have found a rhythm.
Harden misses.
And Harden's been off. And this guy came into the ballgame 20 points a game the last 3. He might be pressing just a little bit back home in front of LA to show everybody how well he's been playing.
Offensive foul or a block. One referee looks at the other.
If it's Blake Griffin, it's his 3rd.
It is indeed.
So the whole front line for the Clippers, each one has 3 fouls. That's one way you could come back into the ball game, but what does Blake do
wrong? Well, you get 6, Mike Smith.
I know, but if
halfway there.
But if a couple of critical guys get in foul trouble and have to come out, that could facilitate a Thunder comeback.
Westbrook over Paul.
It's by far the best he's played any game here in this building against the Clippers. I mean, he's
coming off a big ball game on Friday night. Paul on the move. Whoops, off the foot.
Thank goodness. I think they call a kickball on the Thunder first.
Coming up later in the game, we'll have the Mercury Insurance Sports Update where we'll check out some of the key stories around the association. Clippers will bring the ball in. Mo Williams is out there for Billups. Aside from that, the Clippers starters are intact. Butler will bring it in to Griffin. On the move against Ibaka. Gets to his sweet spot, overshoots the mark.
Yes, he did. Everything was good till the shot. Just kind of like didn't pull the trigger.
Durant wants it. Gets it.
Look at that handle. Look at his ball handling at 6'10".
Jaquan Cook, 3-point shooter. Let it fly. Air ball.
You know, they missed their 3rd scorer tonight. And Scotty Brooks decided to put Harden in the starting lineup, and it has not worked out for them.
You almost wonder you're better off leaving him in his familiar role of coming off the bench.
And if Sefolosha has to miss any more games, they might rethink that because Harden has been so comfortable at what he's doing. I think they're going to reset the shot clock in the middle of the Clippers' possession because Chris Paul's lob hit the rim, but the Clippers had the ball right at the basket.
But only 10 were on that shot clock. There's 22 on this shot clock, and the Clippers will bring it in. Collison about to come back in for the Thunder at the next opportunity. That opportunity does not appear to be now. There he is. And the Clippers will bring the ball in. Caron Butler. The handoff goes to Paul. Paul with 13 assists, folks.
See, they have not perfected that spin lob yet.
Blake was there, but the ball wasn't. Travel is going to be called on Blake Griffin.
I told you they haven't quite connected yet. Look, they look. He was looking for it.
Where's that darn basketball?
I need that ball to make it fun.
DeMar DeRozan, local USC player. OMG, Blake Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
I was checking my iPad at halftime, Mike. I mean, tweets from all over the country. Just in amazement of this game. This game's on NBA TV, carrying our feed. That's 2 turnovers in a row for the Clippers.
I still like that they're attacking. I like that Caron Butler's taking the ball to the rim. Blake Griffin set that tone early on in this quarter.
They've only taken 1 3-point shot here in the second half.
Which is amazing, right? Because they made 10 out of 14 in the first half. But they've been a little bit sloppy here the last little bit.
Durant. DeAndre Jordan has been solid throughout. Beautiful spin. Good look at a 3 by Caron. Bouncing, no! Jordan had it momentarily, lost it, out of bounds, and a go to the Thunder. Paul cannot believe it. DJ's not nearly in as much disbelief as Paul, so DJ probably didn't touch it last. Westbrook with a play call 3 minutes ago. We're in quarter number 3. Westbrook fires, misses, loose ball foul, going to be against Perkins. Kendrick Perkins gets his 3rd foul of the basketball game. Timeout to be taken by the Thunder. Clippers in total charge, 2:50 to go in the period. LA up by 18. All 5 Clipper starters in double figures. The Thunder have only 2 players with more than 4 points. Westbrook's 23 and Durant's 29. That's pretty remarkable.
It really is. The most amazing thing is that James Harden's without a field goal. He has only 1 point, and that Nick Collison is the next highest scorer. He's the 3rd highest scorer with 4.
Paul handles that ball like
wow.
in a string.
He's really Steve Nash-like. But I mean, it's unfair to say one is like the other because they're so different and so unique and so good on their own. But that play was beautiful.
Clippers by 20. Westbrook goaltend.
I don't know how that one's a goaltend. Did that ball ever get above the rim?
Neither does DeAndre.
I mean, DeAndre hits it out of his hand, it looks like.
DeAndre has 3 block shots.
He hits that just as it leaves his hand. It's about even with the rim.
Was it touching the rim? Was the ball touching the rim? That might have been the decision. Griffin has it against Collison. Sizes him up. Backs him down.
Almost traveled.
Goes whoops.
You gotta go.
Plenty of time for this little guy.
You know what's amazing? Most guards in the league, when they look up and see 3 on the clock, they're thinking of how can I shoot a 3-pointer. Chris Paul shoots a 4-footer.
20-point Clipper lead. 1:45 to go in the 3rd. Westbrook behind Collison.
This is the 37th time that Westbrook and Durant have scored 25 or more in the same game.
They're going to wind up with more than 30.
They could.
That should, well, almost certainly they will.
That's never been done before that many times by guys this young. Never.
Goal for 3. Durant will come the other way. He'll shoot a 3 ball.
Watch out.
Well, he got his 30.
Watch out. Just went to 15. You hope to get a couple buckets here because you do not want it to go to 11 in the final minute here.
15-point Clipper lead.
With all the free-flowing third quarter, neither team's in the bonus either.
Foul is called.
Like, that's not even free throw.
Fouls on Harden, his third of the basketball game. Out to the Clippers, 57 on the game clock, 14 shot clock. Near the end of quarter number 3. The fans been out of their seat half this basketball game.
I think the Clippers need a hoop right here.
Griffin takes a fall, saves the ball to Chris Paul. 7 seconds to go. 3 seconds to go.
Wow! Again, they don't settle for a long ball.
This season high 22.
They drive it to the goal. That was a big hoop.
Durant up double dribble.
Yep.
He said he hit the ball. He being a Clipper. 34 seconds remaining, 24 in the shot clock, 10-second separation. Clippers will bring the ball in.
Watch the mastery of Chris Paul again.
Clock won't start until he picks it up.
See if he doesn't shoot it in 6 seconds or less.
Bingo! That means they get another possession. 6 seconds separate the shot in the game clock. 20-point Clipper lead. Kevin Durant. Butler challenges him. Cook. Oh, his shot will look awful.
They got
9 seconds to go.
Get it to Chris Paul or Mo Williams. Chris Paul's begging for the ball.
Butler with 2, with 1, fires a desperation 3 at the buzzer. Well, that might be a small-time error, but it's been a big-time game through 3 quarters for the Los Angeles Clippers. They lead by 20 against the team that has the best record in all of the NBA. 16-3, Oklahoma City coming in, and Blake Griffin has been wowing them here in the third period. Clippers are up 90-70.
That one had the shot clock going down. He didn't settle for a jumper, nor did he there. And at the end of the quarter, look what he did. He walks into another 3. Look at him point to the bench. He's kind of in control, folks. Ties a season high with 14 assists. He did that earlier against Chicago right here on this floor.
So the fourth and final quarter is underway. Harden hunting for his first field goal. Bingo. He's finally found one. 90-73. Clippers on top with Paul out there along with Mo Williams, Chauncey Billups, Blake Griffin, and Reggie Evans. Paul going to work to Mo.
Good recovery by Collison. That was a flare screen for a Mo Williams 3.
5 in a shot clock. He'll get it anyway. Bingo!
My goodness, he is now 19 of his last 31.
Came into the game number 8 in the league in three-point percentage, but he's rising.
19 of 31 is like 65%.
That's why he's rising. Harden trying for 2 in a row. Reggie Evans one hands a rebound.
You know, we talked earlier about these guys having a couple of days off here. Speaking of Oklahoma City, they do not look like themselves.
Kind of checked the temperature before the game and got the impression talking to people in their traveling party that this is not a partying group. It's not a group that they really think, you know, left their game on the streets of LA, as some teams have when they've come in here for a couple of nights. But who knows? I'll
tell you what they've done. They've come out here shooting threes. They're not going to go down quietly. They said, we're going for the comeback.
93-75. Clippers have the lead. Blake Griffin has the ball. Chauncey against Cook. Down the lane, draws the foul.
Clippers have been unbelievably effective at the end of the shot clock in tonight's game. When that shot clock has hit 6 or less,
Durant is out.
They've been stellar. Like even Billups getting fouled there with like 4 ticks on the shot clock.
I think maybe having Billups and Paul have something to do with that.
I think it has everything to do with it.
Man, oh man. Chauncey with 11 points in the bank. 6 Clippers in double figures. Free throw is good. Hey, here's your chance to go green and go Metro. Email gogreen@clippers.com and you can enter to win 2 free round-trip tap cards for each of the Wednesday Clipper home games. Visit clippers.com for more information and go Metro. Chauncey will try again, and that wasn't his prettiest free throw of the year, but it counts as much as any of them have, and the Clippers are back up to a 19-point lead. At Salt Lake City, dental horrors for the Clippers. The Energy Solutions Arena on Wednesday night.
Yeah, but this Clipper team, if they can close out this game, they will be full of confidence.
Back home against Denver on Thursday night, and then the road beckons. 6 straight on the road.
Oh my. Look at that play.
That's amazing.
What a block right there by Ibaka.
Shot clock is down to 8. Reggie Evans tried to catch it with his nose.
Good pass.
3 ball. Reggie fights for it, can't get it. Out of bounds it'll go to Oklahoma City. Clippers 12 for 21 from deep.
Look at this, unbelievable. Splits the double team, fakes with his head, but Ibaka makes a great saving play. That was just going to be a gem by Chris Paul.
Harden runs down Griffin.
They're just going to say Oklahoma City ball. Watch and see if Vinny Del Negro doesn't take a timeout here if Oklahoma scores. They got it to 15 one time at the end of the third, and the Clippers had a great response. A driving bucket by Butler and then a Chris Paul 3. You're sitting on 17 here. It could go to 15 or 14 on this possession.
I wouldn't want to go to a scary movie with you. You get worried, worried, worried. Man, oh man. Clippers are up by, what is that, 17 points?
Come on, I'm like the foundation in my home. It's my kids who get scared. And then, Dad, is it going to be okay? Yes.
Harden will bring the ball in as the star power is on the bench. So who's going to score? Well, it's going to be mostly this guy, Harden. Cook. He kept telling you he was a three-point shooter. He kept throwing up bricks, but he's knocked down 2 in a row now.
You know what? Scotty Brooks' game plan is like, okay, we're going for broke. I'm going to take Westbrook out, Durant out, let them rest. If the other guys can fire some threes and get us back into this thing, I'll bring them back.
Blake Griffin. Bumped hard by Ibaka.
He almost didn't blow that whistle. Vinny Del Negro going to walk all the way out to half court and say, you weren't going to call that foul.
Whistle working.
That's 14.
Put a P in that whistle.
14-point lead is as close as it's been in a while. At any point this half.
Clippers had a 16-point lead in that first half, and then bam, it was down to 6 as Griffin misses. And the Clippers finished the second quarter with 4 straight three-pointers to erupt to a 64-46 lead at the intermission. Chris Paul will come out. An appreciative applause from the crowd.
I think this game is closer than a lot of people realize.
That would include me. It's 96-81. 9 minutes to go in the ball game.
Something about you just kind of makes me scared.
Foul called against Mo Williams. Mo takes out the mouthpiece so he can be understood. Doesn't want his complaints to be misunderstood. Timeout on the court, 8:55 to go in the basketball game. Clippers up by 15.
People talking about this dunk. Major League Baseball, NFL players are blowing up Twitter right now about Blake's dunk, including Dodgers center fielder Matt Kemp, a huge NBA fan. Matt Kemp says on Twitter, the best dunk I've ever seen in my life. I can't stop rewinding it. Blake Griffin posterized Kendrick Perkins, and Larry Fitzgerald said that's the best dunk of the season, maybe the best dunk that he's ever seen in his life as well. Guys, people are going to be talking about this dunk for a while.
I think you are right, Michael. It was really fun to watch, and it truly electrified this crowd of 19,000 plus. Another sellout, 19,404. 24th straight sellout for the Clippers in this building, going back to the Final 12 last year. And you can see why this team is a fan favorite wherever they go around the NBA.
They're so fun to watch, and they not only have the fun and the run, but they got the guys who can bring home the wins, and that's what winning's more fun than anything.
Yeah, they were fun to watch last year, but they couldn't win.
Exactly. Couldn't close the door.
This is better.
This is better.
I got it figured out.
Thank you.
Clippers have some great games coming up in February against the Nuggets, the Spurs, and the Timberwolves. Secure your tickets today as these games are absolutely, positively going to sell out. To purchase tickets, visit Clippers.com, Ticketmaster.com, or call 1-800-4NBA-TICKS. Easily controlled by Blake Griffin at midcourt. The Clippers have the basketball. They have a 15-point lead. Billups to Griffin. Back to Blake. Nice move.
See, they don't have the help in there. Vinny Del Negro really applauding that play right there. It was run to perfection, but Collison and Ibaka is not the same as Ibaka and Kendrick Perkins, or even the length of Durant, so Blake's able to finish. They get a defensive stop, they get a hoop, and they reestablish control of this game.
Harden with it. Ball's knocked loose. Cook mid-range. Reggie goes to gobble up another rebound.
It's amazing how this is a game of inches.
6 rebounds, 13 minutes for Reggie Evans. That's who he is. Mo Williams. Don't know who you're passing it to. Clippers are fortunate to get the ball back.
And the Stars coming back for Oklahoma City.
I wondered if we would see Durant again, and the answer is yes.
I thought
he enters.
It's what Greg Popovich did last night. That game Dallas and San Antonio pulled all the starters out. The reserves went in. Dallas was up 18. The reserves got him back in the game. He brought the starters back.
7 on the shot clock.
That game went overtime.
Oh, Randy Ford wasn't expecting that one.
Now
5 on the shot clock.
Now he's going to have to shoot.
Did he get a foul? No, he didn't. And the long arms of Durant come up with the basketball. Knocked away. Evans draws the foul. Foul from Durant.
The amazing thing about tonight is Kevin Durant's had a great game. He's sitting on 32 points on 19 shots. He's had 10 rebounds. He's made all 4 long balls. I mean, what more could he have done in this game?
Brought along one more teammate who could score, because right now Westbrook's the only one who can.
You know, they have 2 flaws. And one is they're a high turnover team, but they have to get that figured out. Everything else they're pretty good at, but they do need that third score every night. And so far it's been hard.
Scary movie's over. You know Lawler's Law. First to 100 wins. It's the law. Westbrook, that is some athletic play.
That pick and roll on the other end was Mo Williams to Blake. And Blake ran down the floor saying beautiful pass to his partner. It goes all the way back to the second half beginning and Blake Griffin getting the call to carry this team. He's done that offensively in this half.
Randy Foy back to Griffin. Throws it away. Thought he was fouled. Westbrook always in the attack mode. And the Clippers can't handle the rebound. Out of bounds it'll go to the Oklahoma City Thunder with 6.5 minutes remaining in the game.
Look at that play. I mean, it might not be highlight reel like the other one, but if you hadn't seen the other one, what would you think of that one?
Cook will bring the ball in for the Thunder with 6.5 minutes to go in the game, and we have contact off the ball, and a foul is called against Oklahoma City.
And that's Kevin Durant getting a little bit frustrated because Blake stepped in front and put his body where Kevin Durant wanted to go, and Durant just shoves him. So maybe Blake holding a little bit and then watch. You can't do that right in front of the officials.
Kevin Durant shouldn't be shoving Blake Griffin. Griffin might shove back. Remember there was concern in the pre-draft camp back in 07 when he was drafted, number 2 overall, that he couldn't bench press, anything. He was like last of all the guys that came to the pre-draft camp in Chicago. Uh-oh, there's a red flag. Griffin misses. Hasn't made a whole lot of difference.
No, it hasn't. It's getting physical, but Durant can score no matter what he bench presses.
Well, Clippers not drawing any charges here, trying as they might. That'll be a blocking foul called against Mo Williams, his 3rd of the ball game.
I think maybe
we have double technicals.
Yes.
Referees showing some concern here that this thing gets out of hand. Reggie gets 1 for the Clippers. Ibaka gets 1 for Oklahoma City. Clippers up by 17 coming into the game. Best records in the league this year.
And you know,
interestingly, aside from Oklahoma City, 4 Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah, and I looked at the power rankings, you know, by many of the publications online, and most of them had Oklahoma City 2 behind Miami, even though their record is better. And the 2 publications I looked at had the Clippers 6, number 6.
That's not in the West.
That's in the entire NBNA. So this tonight was number 2 versus number 6.
The time to prove that's going to be in the 6-game road trip.
You got it.
We'll know how good they are after that trip, I think. Vinny Del Negro takes a timeout. Now, George Karl was talking that way in Denver last night. We'll know. We can test it on the road. We'll know how good we are. We'll see. 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Clippers up by 15. Like 3 straight years for the Braves. The leading vote getters right now, the way things stand, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul will both be named starters. Voting ends tomorrow. They'll announce the starting units on TNT on Thursday night before the Clippers go against Denver.
Yeah, that's so cool. 3 of those 5 in the ball game on this court.
How about that?
And, you know, Bob McAdoo, you know, just a great former Clipper, even though he never played for the Clippers by that name, the Buffalo Braves. One of only 7 guys to win a scoring title 3 times or more. He's one of the greats. He's still
3 times in a row.
Yeah, it was 3 in a row. One of those was an MVP year for him.
Durant could match that this year.
Yes,
if he's able
could.
to overtake Kobe Bryant, LeBron James and company, and all that is certainly possible. He has 32 tonight. Westbrook has 31. Nobody else has more than 6 for the Thunder.
Here we go. Low shot clock again.
3 ball in and out. Rebound is taken by Durant.
Good defense that possession by Oklahoma City. This thing is not over yet when you got a powerful scorer like this guy.
Durant.
It is as close as it's been in the half. It's now 13.
187. Clippers have the lead.
If the Clippers can match them, you know, the clock is going to run out on Oklahoma City. But if Oklahoma City gets some stops, look out.
I got to hand you my law book. Clippers turn it over. Harden. Foul is called against the Clippers. Harden goes down hard. Mo Williams will draw the personal foul.
You just let me know if you ever get a little bit worried.
I'll let you know.
Okay,
You've been the first
thank
you. 5 minutes and 11 seconds to go.
You still got to execute.
There's no question about that.
On both ends of the floor. This game, we've all seen too many things happen.
Now they're too good a team to just disrespect.
There's a reason. You know, they got the best road record in the league.
They got the best overall record in the league.
Right. 8-2 on the road, 8-1 at home.
He takes a practice shot.
Yeah, and Vinny Del Negro walks over to referee
He says, that's not, you can't
Kane
do that.
Fitzgerald. He said that should be a technical.
So he misses the first. He took a practice shot, which was not even close, and then he makes what is his second try. But he used to be 3 to make 2.
You need a hoop here, my partner. Down to 12, and look at how perimeter-based everything is happening. Shot clock inside 8 again.
Phillips going to the hole, loses the basketball, calls a timeout to save the possession with 4.6 seconds remaining. A 20-second timeout taken by the Los Angeles Clippers. And I may not be worried, but the Clipper bench looks a little concerned right now.
I've been a little bit worried just because I know how explosive they can be on the other side of the ball. But right now, you're looking at a 12-point game. The Clippers have 4.5 seconds, and they need a bucket. And they've been magical at the end of shot clocks.
Clippers have led by 22 in this basketball game. 22. 4:52 to go in it. They lead now by a dozen with a short clock facing them. Utah Jazz lying in wait. That'll be on Wednesday night here in the ticket.
And that was not the Clippers' best showing last time. Chris Paul did not play in that game. I think it'll be a much closer game.
I hope so. Clippers with Phillips and Paul in the backcourt along with Mo Williams, the 3 guards. Out there with Caron Butler and Blake Griffin. Talk about balance. Look at this. Man, oh man.
Look, Blake right on his average, and Blake even a little bit less than last year, but the supporting cast is so much better.
6 Clippers in double figures, only 2 for the Thunder.
Now there is time to pass it in and get it back, but Chris Paul not likely to catch and shoot on a kickback. You got
the
Williams.
Clippers lined up on a line. And Paul will bring it in front of the Oklahoma City bench.
Kind of a tough angle, too, and the 6'5" Westbrook in his path.
Paul, the bounce to Griffin. Blake return. Mo Williams for 3. Skips off the iron, and here come the Thunder. Chance to cut it to 10, maybe even 9. Fans yelling for defense.
They got their 3 best scorers out there.
Harden. Rebound, Ibaka, he loses it.
Boy.
Nice little reach in by Chris Paul, and Phillips comes up with it.
You got that right, Ralph, because the Clippers did not secure the rebound. Paul got the steal.
Paul just finds all sorts of ways to help you win.
Well, the Clippers got to start penetrating. Everything is stuck out on the perimeter.
Foul called, and Blake Griffin will go to the free throw line. DeAndre Jordan coming off the Clipper bench. He'll be entering the game. DeAndre's been active. 11 points, 9 rebounds, 3 block shots. Number 2 in the NBA in block shots. And a couple of goaltend calls that were close. Griffin 3 out of 5 at the line this evening.
I thought it was interesting that Scott Brooks, when they asked him about Blake together with Chris Paul, he said it's the perfect combination. One at a point guard, one at your power forward. And that was an important free throw. And there's a good look at Scotty. He's had high praise for not only them as a combo. Mo Williams getting a good hand as he goes out.
Yeah, Mo did great. Knocked down 4 3-pointers in the game.
But Scotty Brooks just singing the praises of Chris Paul, talking about him being a coach on the floor.
Blake makes 1 out of 2 at the foul line. It's a 13-point Clipper cushion with 4:08 remaining in the basketball game.
Somebody's in the wrong spot. Durant's not happy.
He has it against Butler. Coming to help, and a foul, +1. Well, Kevin Durant gets the bucket. What a game this guy has had. Jordan will pick up the personal foul, his 4th of the basketball game.
I think he's the best offensive player in the game. He's a great foul shooter. He's tall, he's lanky, he's got unbelievable integrity.
Have you seen LeBron James play?
I didn't say he was the best player. He said he was the best offensive player in the game.
Have you seen Kobe Bryant play?
Oh, Kevin Durant's the best scorer in the game. I have seen those other guys play.
Just checking. Chris Paul with it, 101-90. Clippers by 11, 3:40 remaining in the basketball game. Paul matched up here against Durant momentarily.
And that's the door that he has continued to close all season long.
103-90, the Clippers.
Finally, on the last 2 possessions, they get something in the paint.
DeAndre goes to get the rebound. Good outlet pass. Chauncey Billups has it. Pull up, 3 ball, in and out.
He was going for the dagger right there. What he did, though, was shoot very early in the shot clock.
Durant for 3. DeAndre goes to get another rebound.
Now, Chris Paul, I bet you, is going to use 20 of these 24 seconds.
3 minutes remaining in the basketball game. Clippers scored 109 last night. Fly home. Land here about 11:45 last night. And they're coming out. They're going to score that much or more here tonight. Paul again.
Wow. Wow.
Good night, Oklahoma.
He's Mr. Fourth Quarter. I just love his will to win.
Well, he's as competitive as anybody in the league. I know that for darn sure. Clippers lead by 15, folks.
be Michael Lees and Don McClain getting you ready for the Clippers Live postgame. It's going to be fun, folks. We're going to talk about how the Clippers have dismantled the top team in the NBA, came in with the best record of every team in the league. Blake Griffin's huge dunk of 2012. But how about Mr. Fourth Quarter, Chris Paul putting the closing stamps on this game?
What, you're surprised? Like they didn't know it was coming? I mean, just shakes and gets a mismatch with Durant, shakes him up, and buries the two when they desperately needed a basket. And then this is just mano a mano, rides up. But that's what we're coming to expect now from Chris Paul in the fourth quarter, closing games.
Look at those numbers, 22 points, 14 assists, 10 of 14 from the field. That's why he's the Home Depot player of the game. Ralph, Mike, take us home.
Can't argue with that award, and I can't argue with Chris Paul. He is really something, and he's taking the Clippers home here tonight. Skip pass, Daquan Cook, a free ball. Bingo. He's knocked down 3 after missing everything early. With 9 points, he's the third high scorer for Oklahoma City. Clippers have 6 guys with 11 or more.
3 guys with 22.
Paul has it. He just won't let horrific things happen to this club.
Look at that move.
That's a great play against the shot blocker.
Well, they got the mismatch, and then he dribbled out, and everybody spaced out, so they couldn't switch back. In the NBA, you can't switch back when they're separated.
Westbrook. Phillips goes to get the rebound and cradles it to safety. Chelsea's looking to Paul, finally gets it to him.
And he wants the ball. He's got the last 6 points. He's been super stellar on the last 3 possessions. Look at Oklahoma City. They said anybody else but you.
What's interesting, in years past, Chauncey would have the ball there and wouldn't be having to give it up. But there he was looking for Paul. He wanted to give it to Paul. So he's really accepted his role.
Look at that move. And then Ibaka, who caught him one time earlier from behind, even grabbed his shoulder and could not get it.
A little bit like the shot he made against Dallas. Ibaka's going to go out of the basketball game, and Cole Aldridge is going to come in.
Look at the progression, Ralph, since Chris has returned. His offense has caught up with his brilliant mind.
Clippers about to go to 9-4 with Chris Paul. Oh, man.
Hello and good night.
26 points, 14 assists for Chris Paul. 12 out of 16 shooting. 2 out of 3 from deep. Reggie Jackson gets a bucket. 22nd timeout for the Los Angeles Clippers. Vinny Del Negro wants to do some teaching, wants to make something productive out of this final minute and 19 seconds in this basketball game. Clippers up by 14 points, 109-95. Team will practice tomorrow and then in the afternoon fly to Salt Lake City and get ready for invading the Utah Jazz. The Clippers are just knocking off big team after big team. This will be their 3rd win in a row. But look at what's been going on here.
All those teams have winning records.
10-4 in January, about to be 11-4. The winningest January since the Buffalo days in the 1970s.
This is going to equal the best start at home, 10-2. And that was 05-06, a team that went to the final game of the Western Conference semifinals. But what I love is what I just saw in the huddle. Look at them. I mean, there is genuine appreciation for one another, and it does not matter who gets the credit.
Eric Bledsoe makes his season debut. Well, it's good to get him off the bench, get him out in the court after 2 games last week for the Bakersfield Jam. Had a knee surgery in October. So Trey Tompkins and Eric Bledsoe and Solomon Jones and Reggie Evans and Randy Foye out there to finish it up for the Clippers. And the fans leave very, very happy at Staples Center. What a 3-game winning streak, beating Memphis, at Denver, and then Oklahoma City. That's a pretty good week of work.
You got that right.
Eric Bledsoe. A little bit short.
Kind of an inauspicious start to your 2nd year.
I guess the baskets are higher here in the NBA than they were in the D-League. These young guys are so used to big moments, taking big shots in big games. Daquan Cook knocks down his 4-3 ball, but you sit there, you haven't played in a regular season NBA game since last April. There's still a little something different about this.
Yeah, no question about it. The fans,
boy, they're standing up.
yeah, they appreciate this ball game. They knew what this game was all about.
They're standing throughout the building. Randy Foye, 3 balls straight away. Why not bingo?
Why not? 14 threes last night, 13 more tonight.
112-98 the Clippers with 15 seconds to go.
Which one's the better win, partner?
Reggie Jackson to Aldridge.
Last night I called it the win of the year. What do you think now?
Win of the year, too. 112-100 the Clippers have it. They do not need to get the ball across midcourt. The Los Angeles Clippers win their 3rd straight. They stunned the Oklahoma City Thunder, who were 3-point favorites coming in. Clippers win it by 12. And really, after that great finish in the first quarter where they led 36-25, the outcome was never in serious doubt. That's just a very, very rock-solid week of work for the Los Angeles Clippers. Paul was brilliant throughout with 26 points and 14 assists. Griffin and Butler contribute 12 points, double figures for Jordan and Williams.
It was the best offensive performance of the season. There was the most fluidity, the most rhythm. It was just a terrific night.
Clippers Live starts right now, ladies and gentlemen. Clippers win it 112-100. Let's go.